Hey, my name is Jessica Bowler, and I'm going to be introducing my literature curriculum that I've done for the book The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle for my pre-K classroom. So, a little bit about Eric Carle. He's one of my favorite authors, and I love to integrate his books into my classroom. He is known for his beautiful and unique illustrations in his books. That's one of my favorite things is his pictures. So once you've seen one, you're going to know when you see another. So here's a little bit of a summary about the book. It begins with the caterpillar emerging from an egg, and he eating everything on sight. Each day, he eats more, and more. So on Saturday, he eats so much that he feels like he has a stomach ache that he thought was from overeating, but then he realized after he was no longer hungry and he was huge in size, he begins building a cocoon around himself. Eventually, he turns into a bright and beautiful caterpillar. So this is a really good book to emphasize the life cycle of a butterfly. It even incorporates days of the week and counting. So that's fun for any activity like that. So my first activity is a literacy activity, and we use at my school and in Alabama we use the Creative Curriculum Teaching Strategies Gold. So that's what I use for my objectives or standards. So I use 18C, which is retell stories and recounts details from informational text, and then 18D, which uses context clues to read and comprehend text. And so I just want to reiterate about the standards. So I teach in a first class pre-K classroom in Alabama, and that is why we use these. So my first activity is a sequencing activity. And so at first you're going to read The Very Hungry Caterpillar to your child. And then for the teacher directed activity, you're going to make a KWL chart with the children to see what they know about caterpillars. A KWL chart is great when you're introducing a new theme, a new activity, or a new book. So for a student independent activity, you're going to have children practice sequencing the story by clipping the pictures in order of what the caterpillar what he ate first to last. So you can see in the picture over here to the right, my example of what the children might be clipping together with clothespins. So for closure, you're going to come back together as a group and go over the sequence of events. So this is my literacy activity continued. I'm just showing you like to prep what activity for to prep. To prep the activity, you'll need these things and then how to make your Very Hungry Caterpillar sequencing stick. So this is just directions on how to make it. And this is my another literacy / ELA activity as well. So this is like an alphabet activity or where you're working on your letter sound. So for the standards, I use 7B, uses writing and drawing tools. 16A identifies and names letters, and 16B identifies letter sound correspondence. So for my introduction, obviously we're going to read The Very Hungry Caterpillar to the children again and try to get them to recall and recognize different things from the book. And then for our teacher-directed activity, we're going to review the alphabet with our students and their sounds. So each day, I always review the alphabet and their letter sounds, and so this is just a great activity to reintroduce all of that again. So for the student independent activity, you're going to have children write the letters in the circles and place in alphabetical order. So you can either go ahead and have your circles cut out, or to add extra fine motor skills, you can get the children to cut out the circles over here to the right to add to make a caterpillar. So if some students are struggling with writing their letters, you can go ahead and prepare some for them so that they don't have to write them, so that they can do the activity with everybody else. So when they place the alphabet in order, after they've done that, we're going to have them form their name with the caterpillar's body. So um, after that, you can have the children say the sounds for the letters as they place them in order. So for closure, we're going to review the alphabet and letter sounds, and we're going to have children come up and spell their name out loud, because in pre-K, that's a huge thing, is learning to spell our name. Integrated literacy and ELA activity continued. So right here, we're just talking about how to prep for the activity and what you'll need. And then the next is like how to make the activity and how to prepare for it. So this is one of my favorites. It's a science activity, or you can call it sensory. My children love, love, love sensory activities. So I chose the standard 25, and it demonstrates knowledge of the characteristics of living things. So for this one, you can read The Hungry Caterpillar again, or you can choose a book of your choice on the life cycle of a butterfly, because that's what our activity is going to be about. So for the teacher-directed activity, we're going to ask the students if they know the process of the life cycle of a butterfly or caterpillar. And if they do, and they tell you, as they're describing that, I want either me or my auxiliary would draw a picture of each stage on the board so students can visualize it as they're describing what happens in each stage. For our student independent activity, so we're going to explain to the students that each type of this pasta, which we're making pasta, we're going to color the pasta, each type of pasta represents a different aspect of the life cycle of the butterfly. So one will be the caterpillar, one is the chrysalis, and then one might be the butterfly, and then one might be the egg. So you're going to have them sort by each stage, so you're sorting alike. And then next, after that, they can sort by color. And if you would like to make it into a counting activity, you can have them count after they finish sorting to see how many is each in each. So for closure, we're going to come back together as a group and review the stages of the life cycles of a butterfly to check for understanding. And this is just continue talking about how to prep for the activity and what you'll need, and then how to make everything for the sensory bin. And here's my art activity. My children love to do art, as any pre-K student does, because it's just fun. So teaching strategies gold, the standards that I use are 7A, uses fingers and hands. 7B uses writing and drawing tools. These are great fine motor skill objectives. So that's a big thing that we work on in pre-K is fine motor skills. And then 33, which explores the visual arts. So the introduction, we're going to read The Hungry Caterpillar again. And this time you need to be, I want to ask prompting questions to see if my children can remember information from before. And before I even mention it, I want to see if they know what happens. So for the teacher-directed activity, discuss with the students what a caterpillar looks like. For instance, how many legs they have, how many antennas, and what shapes make them. So for the student activity, you're going to have the children cut out the caterpillar's body. So over here you see the green, the two greens. Have the children cut them out to make into a caterpillar. So they're going to glue those onto a sheet of paper, and you're going to let them dry for the rest of the day. But the next day, you're going to come back and have the children draw the body part. So you're going to have them draw the legs, the face, and the antennas, and whatever else they want to put on there. So for closure, we're going to display the children's art on the wall, and we're going to have them help with that. And here we go again. This is what you'll need to prep for the activity and the directions. And these are my references that I use to get some things from, especially the ones that I use in my classroom, so I could give a little bit more information if anybody would like to use some of these. And that is it. Thank you.